Hello, I'm John Fox on the channel John of the West. I'm having a Disco Elysium adventure, and I'm recording on a new Elgato. I had, hang on, let me grab it. I had one of these Elgato Game Capture HD. It's not my first recording device, and I've upgraded. I've upgraded to the HD 60S. So, I guess I'm recording 60 frames per second now? I mean, quite hard to tell because I'm currently doing nothing. Anyway, I don't actually know what difference it's going to make. I do know that occasionally my OBS struggled, and I do wonder if I can turn settings up, but I'm worried about fiddling with stuff. But I honestly can't remember if I was recording with 60 frames per second before. Presumably the Elgato wasn't. And I guess that number in the bottom right hand corner that you can't see because it's on the other screen. Anyway, so if it's different, say things, maybe if it's good or bad. Let's move my face there so I'm not covering them up. So yes, I don't want to faff around too much. So let's get out of here. We might want to continue that interview. There are places I want to check out as well. On the way out? Who knows? We'll find out. So, I was a bit worried because the reason to get this is to stream. And I'm not actually streaming right now, but I might want to. But it is, and this is really cool, instant now. Where the hell am I? Nah, that was the wrong way. So, if I look at my screen, I can see myself talking in real time. And before I used to have to put a delay on my face. So I'm thinking, since I don't have to put a delay on my face anymore, that it's coping better. It's like the recording device is doing more work. I'm getting more bang for, you know, I really hope it's doing something anyway. There's the way out. Anyway, I'll stop talking about that when I get to a place. Orangje and Classier. Orangje and Classier. Revachul. Okay. It's nice. But yeah, it's sort of... I'm having to look off screen, but it's nice to be able to see my face. And go, oh yeah, that's what I look like in real time. This still isn't totally in real time. There is... possibly a millimeter delay. I'll have to check because I'm not using the Elgato. Anyway, I want to talk to these guys again, don't I? Because I've got a new thing to go, hey, you were wrong. You didn't kill him. Do I want to tell them that, though? Get one of them nervous, maybe? So I'm clunking a glass. Hello.
Looks like the circus left town. But the clowns are still here.
Titus does not look particularly happy to see you. Do I tell him? I just found a bullet in the hanged man's head. A bullet, you say? He pats the back of his head. That's mighty curious. Indeed, mighty. How did it get there? The lieutenant is fixed on Titus. He gives you an indulgent look. Well, there are so many bullets in the world and so many heads. He sighs deeply. I guess it's only logical. At some point, one of those bullets had to end up in one of them heads. It's bound to happen again, you know. He taps on the right temple. Just statistically speaking, of course. Sorry, it would be an event most dramatic if you were to produce the bullet and dangle it before their very eyes. I'm going to ask you again. Why was this, show them the bullet, in the victim's head? Wow. The little man leans in to inspect the laden blossom. He's got it in a real evidence bag and all. Why don't you go home and log it into evidence? These men have told you what happened. Did you guys shoot him? Shit! He throws back his head back. I probably did shoot him. I was drunk last night. You guys know me when I'm drunk. Yeah, Glenn likes to shoot his guns when he's drunk. The little guy looks you in the eye. Better hope he stays sober. No, he meant before he was hanged. Did you shoot him before you hanged him? Before, after, during, She spreads her arms. This is getting ridiculous. They told you what happened. Stop wasting your time. Like, do I tell him everything, or do I keep some of this stuff to myself? I think the hanging was a cover-up for the shooting. You know what I think? He raises a finger. I think he got shot in the head as a kid, and his brain grew around the bullet. Around the bullet, man. Elaine pinches the root of his nose. That's a good one. All the goofing around is to avoid lying. It's a technique. Don't worry, we'll figure this out sooner or later. Never been worried in my life, Lawman. Crosses his hairy arms, having forgotten his beer for a moment. It's not like you blew it wide open, but there's a little crack in there somewhere. Authority 3. Strange reaction to bullet. Success! As you look around, sorry, because like is he gonna die? No, my authority. I did a good roll. As you look around the room full of sweaty men, swearing, drinking, spitting out tobacco, does this look familiar? Where have I seen this before? You believe the place was called Precinct 41. It was also filled with, almost exclusively, men, sitting on desks, talking shit, and wasting time. I get it, Titus. You guys really are the authority around here. Huh? You must be. You're just like real cops, drinking beer and sitting around with your dicks in your hand. He leans in. You got a problem with beer now? Not quite there yet. Push on. Okay, no, I'm also a big fan of beer. And jerking off instead of helping people. You're saying we don't help people? He puts the beer down. I've been doing this job for 10 years. Martinez was a dump before we put this outfit together. Continue. They don't know, man. They weren't here. He turns to you. We had 3 shootings a week. Kids dead. Fucking graffitio everywhere. You cops haven't shown up in 30 years. Nope, that's not what he says. He says you cops haven't shown up since the 30s, which is 20 years. Congratulations on the graffitio removal. He turns to Titus. All I see is you sitting around talking about Monica's titties while there's a rape victim. That is totally what they'd said. So what? What do you want from me? We took care of that fuck. He picks the beer back up. Don't let him drink that. One more push, quick. Just don't antagonize him. You have this already. It's not about who did it, it's about the victim. She needs help. Titus. He looks at her. She stops mid-sentence. That's it. You got him. He's going to give it up, but on his terms. You want to help her, cop? Fine, I'm going to let you help her. But you treat her with respect. If you don't, if you question her, harass her, Titus taps his chin with his fist. A freight train of pain, buddy. Lieutenant takes out his notes. What is her name? There we go. Classier. John, you just learned how to pronounce that word. Classier Amando. She's staying here at the Whirling Rag. Real pretty one. Silvery jumpsuit. Blonde. Titus adjusts his cap. That's Amando with an O-U. I believe we've met. Shit. That's the girl. The girl upstairs. That can't be her. She knows you drank so hard that you forgot you were a cop. Miss. Haha! Look at my composure. Talked about your room and crying. Said you don't remember reality. Said you don't remember being a cop. Miss Orangje. Avonier. Disco's answer. I'm going to fail to keep my cool, I think. You inexplicably add cool after the victim's name. your eyes bulging like some wild beast. Your fingers are fidgeting and sweat starts forming on your brow as Titus looks at you oddly. There we go. I don't understand what's so cool here. Nothing. Gives you a sideways glance. We'll just have a few more questions and we'll be on our way. Whatever you do, do not tell him that you know her. That would sound off. Calm, normal. Try to forget this little hiccup. So, the rape. So what was her relationship with the mercenary? Relationship? There was no fucking relationship. He raped her. That's their relationship. It was like that karaoke incident all over again. Like some of the other girls he was harassing. Okay, enough. All of this is irrelevant to your stated investigation. So, the rape. When was that? He did it before we killed him. He's not going to do it again. He crushes his half-empty beer can. So what does it matter? It would help if we could establish a timeline. Alright, 2 weeks maybe. I don't know. I need another beer. He turns to Glenn. Here you go, boss. The tall blonde throws him a can. Titus cracks it open. So, scratch your head, what is your relationship with her? I know her. He looks around, and an uncommon silence fills the room. Well, how well do you know her? A small twitch in the corner of Kim's mouth is a hunch about what knowing means. Well enough, copper. We partied. She's been here for a few months. Crosses his arms. Tries to make it sound real casual. The muscles on his neck tighten. So she's not from around here? You mean Revachol? Nah, she's an immigrant or a drifter of some sort. Been staying here over the winter. Oh god, so I'm missing a scene with a really important character. So I mentioned this before, and it's quite a short scene. In fact, you sort of got the information before one of those rolls. But like literally, I open up my door. She's very cool. Like literally, she's kind of like nonchalant, and she says, "Are you a cop?" And it's like, I don't know, am I? Because I don't remember. And I ask her about my night and all the songs that were playing, and I try and establish my own timeline. And she says she didn't do it, and I'm like, okay, cool. But yes, so kind of annoyed that didn't record, but don't give her any more trouble. The fat guy blurts out. She just had some bad luck, that's all. Shut up, Angie. He slaps his forehead. She doesn't need your help. Titus gives them both a look. They fall silent. What's with all the silences? It's like these guys don't know how to feel about this. You should keep picking at it. You said you partied. Cool. That's cool. But what did you mean? What do you think I meant? Laughs nervously. Sex, drugs, and karaoke, right? Yes, yes and no. He looks you straight in the eye. Got something to say about that? So you're saying the two of you were close? No, we just fucked, that's all. He states matter-of-factly. I'm not going to give you any details if that's what you're after, so put your dick away. He really went out of his way to seem comfortable with the topic. That's all you're going to get for now. He's doing a good job here. Commendable performance of I don't give a shit. Okay, I was recommended not to do that. I love that because I lost my cool. I can't help but sound dumb asking these. Thank you. We'll talk to her. He points to his beer can. Remember what I said? Freight train of pain.
Officer, what was that?
You mean the sweating and the fidgeting when he mentioned her name? And the sort of quibbling jello thing with the eye? Point to twitching eye. Yes. I think I know that woman. The victim? Is there something I should know before we talk to her? Whatever you do, don't say the first thing. I didn't rape her! That's a... I mean, he obviously didn't, but yeah, that would sound really incriminating. She knows I did some pretty crazy stuff before I passed out, that I partied hard, and I'm not very mentally healthy. So she overheard you, or did you party together? She overheard me listening to music and doing weird things from her room. It's the one next to yours. Anything else? I didn't. I met her in the hallway after I woke up. I asked her where we were, what city this is, maybe even what year, something like that. He shrugs. It's clearly in your interrogation technique. Anything else? She knows I didn't remember being a cop. Okay, that's manageable. I met her in the hallway after I woke up. Understood. You were not in a good shape Monday. Nothing? Let's move on. He nods. We'll be alright, officer. This is nothing. Yes! You feel fortified by his assurance? It's going to be alright. Is it though? Nothing. You're in for a bumpy ride here. Let's try not to mess it up. He keeps talking about Monica's titties. I'm going to need to buy some morale stuff. Because, yeah, that's kind of... I've got no charges. You know what I've not done? What, a bunch of stuff. Do we still have a level up? Yeah, we do. I think all this stuff is plenty high. Inland Empire. I've spent quite a lot on this line, and quite a lot on this line. I could put my health up, but I kind of like Gissel being low. Maybe Shivers. It's kind of cool to have Shivers. I'll leave it for the time being. Let's go upstairs. This is a really well constructed game. Oh, let's put that down. So I said before I watched somebody else play the start of this, just because I was curious, and he hit on her, and it's like, something that I would never do, like, because I immediately went, well, that's a terrible idea. But so now I know that he's got that to come. So that I found that quite funny as well. Let's stock. Who is it? A woman's voice answers, muffled by the door. Tired, controlled. This is the police. Can we come in? Come on up. My door's open. She shouts. I'm drying my hair. Sounds like it's coming from upstairs somewhere. You could snoop around before going up. Yeah, I've seen it before on the balcony. Yeah, there she is. Not really sure what snooping I can do, but... Oh, in her room. I'm an idiot. I guess I am a police officer. Right. Hotel bill calculations. Looks like she's had an extended stay. Piles of dirty clothes. A woman's. Why was this already... Oops. She's made around 4 months of payments for this room. You see the yard below? The corpse is no longer there. Medicine cabinet is full of wares. Sheets of pills haphazardly stacked on top of one another. There's also a toothbrush somewhere in there. Look at the toothbrush. It's been used quite a lot. Look at the medications. Pharmaceuticals line the shelves. Sheet upon sheet and pill bottle next to pill bottle. Eclectic acid, APAP, eye drops, blood thinners. It's quite the collection in here. Anything of note? He asked in a lowered voice. Search the bottles. Pill bottles rattle like bones as you search the cabinet. A paracetamol, histoparidol, something in a foreign language you can't read. Behind them, an unusually shaped nasal spray. Its label reads Nacra. Encyclopedia, medium success. Nacra, this used to treat opioid overdoses. Always handy to have around. Whisper, Nacra, opioid antagonist. Interesting. It's used for diamorphine overdose. Lieutenant nods, then looks at the door. Touch the pill sheets. Among some foreign, probably Messenian or Gottwaldian marked red blister packs, you find... What do you find? This is going to take a little know-how. There's a chemical hangover. Electro-chemistry, medium 10. Is there something more interesting here? Success! A bright orange bottle with peptide stamped on it. In sunny, happy letters. Jackpot, baby! That's the stuff you're looking for. Your palms begin to sweat just looking at that plastic container. What's so exciting about this orange bottle? It's speed, man. Just what you were looking for. They called it dextroamphetamine and talk about psychological disorders, but what we're seeing here is some scientifically advanced trucker speed. Lieutenant, I see a brand called Preptide. Preptide, a euphemism for pharmaceutical amphetamine. Prescription speed. The fuck you waiting for? Let's get some super fucking preppy! There's the cabinet. I love his interface. I love that his brain is sometimes just not useful in the slightest. Because that's how my brain works. The bed has been hastily made. This window is in pristine... The window is pristine on the inside, unlike the one next to it. Light from the desk lamp reflects off the glass in an untarnished golden halo. Run your fingers across the surface of the glass. Smooth as ice. There are spots of mud and rain on the outside, even smudges, but the surface of the window is clear from the inside. No chips, no hairline fractures. Following your lead, Lieutenant leans closer to inspect the surface. This window was recently replaced. Looks like it, yes. He adjusts his glasses. Leave. The smell of cigarette smoke is in the air. Astra. Menthol. Look, a handful of dried wildflowers. Hand-eye coordination. Just as you look, the flowers, a gust of wind raises them from the roof, picking them up in the air. Move your hand fast. The wind brushes them off the roof. They're gone. Oh, damn. Cold coffee in an ashtray that looks like a hedgehog.
Welcome to the roof.
The young woman has a cigarette in one hand and a cup of coffee in the other. Her hair is slick from the shower. Below her silvery jumpsuit, an athletic young body, built long and lean.
I'm sorry for the mess down there. The cleaning lady hasn't come by in days. I'm beginning to wonder if she ever will.
Is there a cleaning lady? I think I need one. No. Nice view you got here.
It's much nicer now.
Her eyes wander north, towards the yard. Where the dead body used to hang, clearly visible from the roof, but no longer.
Thank you for that, officers. Truly.
You mentioned a cleaning lady. I think I need one.
Oh yes, legends of room number 1 have made their way around the building. They say a portal to hell is opened in there.
There are vortices of dark energies present, but not to hell. To another place. A third place. Much different from our world.
A third place? Interesting. That's probably why the cleaning lady quit.
I'm Kim Kitsuragi. I'm a detective from Precinct 57. I believe you have already met my colleague from Precinct 41.
Have I ever? This is the biggest fan of ostentatious orchestrations I have ever seen in my life, and I have seen a few.
That's the band, by the way.
Oh yeah. Life gets hard, but we go on.
The chorus of the 35 single, megaphoning the entire human race, instills you with a fuck it all swagger that prompts one to plough into grannies on your morning stroll. How long do you think until the heart wears us down?
Oh, I've got a couple good years left on my warranty.
She looks down at her body shimmering in the silver jumpsuit.
Miss, we are investigating the murder of the man down there. The people who put him there have asked us to talk to you.
Ah, I see.
She takes a pensive drag of her menthol cigarette. Be careful. Ask something else first. When you go there, you use words like, I hear you've been through something difficult. What is your name, miss, for the record? Clage Amanda. Same name that Titus gave you. It sounds Orangje, as does her accent. Her birthmarks also signal Orangje. Is it Orangje? Sorry. I don't know why, but Orangje's girls tend to come speckled with them. Are you from Orangje? Right, sir. Redefort, Public of Orangje. I guess you could say I'm Orangje's expatriate. What is Orangje? Bad memory, officer. The Republic of Orangje, yeah, is a democratic nation on the Mundi Isola, north of here. Over the sea and across the Pale, it is one of the 6 major Occidental nations to hold stake in the continued occupation of Revachol, the Coalition. People consider it a reasonable superpower. Reasonable? They will make you into a fiscal colony, divert your natural resources, hold patents and shares, but they won't threaten to wipe you out any time, like Revachol did in its time. A bad memory of what? Of lilacs and lightning. She squints her eyes as if to see them in the distance. Parks, glass, duraluminum. Whatever. Redefort is a conference city. It's always autumn there, and night. At least it was for me. What's so bad about that? Nothing, if you're no longer there. How old are you? I'm 28. She takes a drag. What do you do, miss? What's your specialization? Something stupid. What's that? Orangje's lit. What? Orangje's literature. That's what I studied at the university. She raises both eyebrows. What is Orangje's, literature about? Fear of failure. Fear of death. How it sucks to be Orangje's. All national literatures are. Only the name of the nation changes. Orangje's lit. What do you do with it? Nothing. I do nothing with it. How do you make money then? Money is very important. Show her some money. Cool. She looks at the black note in your hand. I've made more money by just being... What? I've made more money by just being than I have with Orangje's lit. Being what? Many things. A roller skating instructor, a secretary. Miss Orangje, 37. She smiles. Of course she's won a beauty pageant. She's very symmetrical. Can we take a look at your password report, please? I'm afraid you can't, officer. Okay, so the year is 51, right? So she won a competition 14 years ago? But if she's 28, she would have been 14. I'm assuming she's older than 28. Is the point I'm getting at. I'm afraid you can't, officer. Why is that? Because it's buried in a sealed plastic bag at the undisclosed location on the coast, along with cash and airline tickets. Thank you for your candor. Why? They say so in your tourist brochure. Keep travel documents away from your person when west of the river. How do I know you've told us your real name? If I were to lie to you, I would come up with some more mainstream name than Kalage Amando. It's a weird name. He seems to be telling the truth, sire. Pretty sure I have a legal right to demand your passport, miss. Look, officers, she turns to face you both. I like this place, but I don't want her to be stuck wandering the city like a ghost after being robbed of my travel documents. I don't want to become an indentured servant in a brothel on Boogie Street. I don't want my relatives to pay the ransom. There are plenty of other reasons for hiding your documents from the law. That's not why you hid it, though. It's also why I hid it. Why else? He's suddenly very attentive. I'm an unimportant girl. She takes a drag. There are people back home who don't like me. If they show up, I'm in a hurry. The kind of hurry where you can't afford to not find your documents. But don't worry, this has nothing to do with your investigation. What kind of people are these? The ones that don't like you? I would love to change the subject. It's not important, unless I'm some kind of suspect. She arches an eyebrow. No, we've just come to talk. Ooh. She wipes her brow. Okay then. Okie dokie. She pours herself more coffee. If any of this made her nervous, it certainly doesn't show in her expression or movements. Thank you. That's it for the record. The record? So official? I assume you got here? Yeah, it's pretty deluxe. What are you doing here in there, whirling in rags? I'm wintering. How long have you been staying here? She calculates. About 4 months. I came in November. The bills downstairs concur. Why here? Here in the Whirling? Here in Martinez or here in Revachol? Here in the Whirling. Because it's the funkiest building in the Martinez. Because all the other buildings are bombed to hell. Ah, that's great. Let's be overly honest. You've got the collection of prescription drugs down there. Thank you. I put a lot of time and effort into it, she says without any discernible irony. Technically, possession of narcotics is legal in Revachol, but you should still reprimand her. No, don't listen to the stiff. Be cool. It was quite impressive. How did you amass such a hoard? With money, sir. She takes a drag. It's not exactly the anti-star-sized caboodle I intended to be one day, but it's getting there. The anti-star is, or was, a Vespertine rock and roll star who liked to do drugs. He did so many drugs he eventually mutated into a corpse. You seem to have, among... Your collection includes Narca, an opioid antagonist. Comes in handy when you've done too many opioids. Is that something that happens to you often, miss? His tone isn't aggressive, just inquisitive. Better safe than sorry. He takes a drag and smiles. You seem to have, among other things, Preptide. Oh yes, one of my favourites. It cures many ailments. Like what? Like not being able to stay up for 36 hours, she thinks. Not being happy, it cures those ailments. It just mirrors speed molecule, basically. As far as that that's as far as that goes, then. Very funky. She takes a drag, looking you straight in the eye. The window is new. It is. She moves slightly to your left to check her reflection on it. Lieutenant makes a note in his notebook. I have other questions for you. Okay. Takes a pensive drag of her cigarette. Watching herself reflected in the bedroom window, tall and sparkling and draped in smoke. You tell us you've been through something difficult. Something difficult? She raises her eyebrows. I've been through at least half a dozen difficult things. Which one do you mean? Were you sexually assaulted, miss? By sexually assaulted, you mean raped? She takes a quick drag, unperturbed. Yes. It's a bit early in the morning for rape, isn't it? Actually, it's already afternoon. It is. Squinting, she takes a look around. The spring sun is high in the sky. People pass below. It is afternoon. She looks into a coffee cup. Time flies. So were you? Yeah. She draws out the word. I'm gonna go with not raped. I don't want to say that shit about him. By him, she must mean the victim. Tell them that it's not my style. They'll have to, you know, if they want to jazz up the charges, they'll have to get someone more... She searches for the word, then shrugs. Rapeable. By they, she means the Hardy Boys. Are you saying you were asked to tell us you were assaulted? Not explicitly, but I understood what they meant. It wouldn't hurt to spice things up a bit. Some assault, battery, sexual assault maybe. It was clear the latter would be spicier. Are you saying you weren't raped? I'm 89% sure. Does that mean you're 11% not sure? You know how it is. Do you? Do I? She flicks a bit of ash away. Maybe you don't. The ash lands on her jumpsuit. She brushes it off. Those are numerous cigarette burns on the silvery scales. Easy to see now that you're closer. In conclusion, officer, I'm going to go with a mild to medium not raped here. It sounds like something happened and you don't want to acknowledge it. Let me make this 100% clear then, officer. I was not sexually assaulted. She tilts her head. Would I be as flippant if I had been? What did they hang him for, if not for rape? He had something to do with the strike. One thing had been boiling since I got here. Rotten timing, she thinks, but you probably know all about it. And his role in the strike was what? I think he was in the security detail. He was ex-military, worked for Wild Pines and against the Union. We didn't discuss work much, if you know what I mean, but I understood it was dangerous. And they lynched him for it. He nods. How do the Hardy Boys know you? They're frequent guests, downstairs. She looks at the floor. It's tarred. They have a booth for union members. They're probably down there now. And how did you meet? Over drinks? It's been a long, boring winter. There must be more to it. You should return to this topic after you've talked about her relationship with the deceased, maybe? What happened between you and the victim? We partied. Wait, partied? Have I heard that before? A lot of partying going on. And Titus, about her and Titus' relationship. That's where you heard it. What kind of partying? Point to your bloated face. The kind I do? With all due respect, sir, I think we partied a little harder than that. Harder than this? Keep pointing to your face. I didn't know it was physically possible. Oh, it is. She takes a long drag. You're still alive? What did you do when you partied? We drank, sir. She takes a sip of coffee. A lot. For weeks, basically. We had that effect on each other. We'd made each other drink harder. That's why I liked him. What else? Stimulants, speed, also to that effect, making you drink harder. And then drinking harder makes you do more speed. It's quite the combination. We also had sex. Were feelings involved? A little. The drugs were good enough, and we did enough of them. How did you two meet? The lieutenant's voice is calm, quiet. Downstairs. He taps on the roof with a 10-centimeter heel at the bar. It was some sort of assignment. A military man. as you know, had a cool, scary scar. She appears aloof, but the scar part, the scary is stressed and drawn out. What about it? Apprehension? When was this? A month ago? Something like that? Must have been hard for you. Point to the yard. Seeing him there? Oh yes, she says bitterly. I had a great view from the roof, out of the bathroom window, in my dreams. A bitter cringe. It hurts. You look. The lieutenant takes a step closer. You called us. The RCM. Yes. Jackpot! The call, reporting the hanging, that was you. I made it. She nods. I would appreciate if you didn't tell everyone. In Martinez, they call it snitching. Reporting crimes is confidential in Revachol, miss. The caller's voice was disguised. I didn't exactly disguise it. I just muffled the mic and then nicked the landline a little. Nicked it? How? With nail clippers. I diverted some radio fuzz into it, into the cold wire. You were right to suspect there may be foul play involved with the broken phone line. In the process, you broke the landline downstairs. Did I? She looks into her coffee. Fuck. I didn't mean to. I had no idea what I was doing. Jigsaw falling into place. This is satisfying. Good catch. I appreciate the symmetry. Still, it's a pretty clever tampering. Simple and clever. Crossing the lines like that. It seems like you had some idea. That was nifty. Thanks. She manages a smile. She looks a bit like a little girl who's been complimented on her bike repair skills. Why go to all the trouble? I don't know, sir. It was stupid. I was drunk too. I was probably afraid the union was listening in. Locals say they have ears in the wires. Continue. Thank you for making the call, miss. It was the right thing to do. I didn't want to, sir, but if I hadn't, he'd still be hanging there. What can you tell me about him? Name, eyes, age? I'm sorry, I can't do it. She puffs on her cigarette. Not right now. Maybe later. I keep seeing him, like he is now. Can't talk about this. I don't know. Hair. Another puff. More nervous. I know it's difficult, miss, but we can return to it later. Titus asked you to spice things up for us? Pretty much. She cradles her coffee cup in both hands, warming them. Why was there a bullet in his head? Bullet? There's a silence. Her brows meet in the middle, from a pained frown. They shot him too? I'm not picking up any theatrecraft here, sir. The pause is sincere. They stripped his clothes and they shot him? You mean after they hanged him? I'm confused. Sorry. So am I. Were you aware that he'd also been shot, miss? Things are starting to go a little over my head here. I thought he was hanged. I was not present when they did it. I don't know what happened. I just know what they told me and Sylvie, the bartender. This is beginning to get confusing for you too. And we don't like that. Where was she Sunday night? Where were you when this happened? Cowering. I was cowering. Why don't I like the word cower? Cowering. Downstairs with Sylvie. Again, how did the Hardy Boys know you? He said we met over drinks. Did you party? A little, yeah. Like you partied with the deceased? No, not as hard. I'm sorry to have to ask this, but have you had any physical relationship with any of the Hardy Boys? I have. Which one? Which ones, sir? I don't remember precisely. Titus, obviously, but as I said, it's been a long winter. Could that have been a part of the reason why they hanged him? Could that be why they lynched him? Jealousy? I hope not. A pause. Actually, I know that's not the reason. I'm careful about that kind of thing. Not crossing the wires, you know. That's probably where they got the rape idea. What do you mean? Men like that? I don't know. Have a pause. It's the way their imaginations work. I suspect it's what they'd like to do to me. Okay, this makes things muddier. Huh. Who are they covering up for? Thank you for telling us all of this, miss. Conclude. He breathes a silvery sigh of relief and weariness. The air on the roof feels humid. We should head back downstairs. The lieutenant looks at you. We may have other things to discuss there. I had something else before we go. A little thing. Volition. Legendary. Look her in the eye. She looks back. Time moves slowly, the triangles of her face rearranging into a weary smile. Don't worry, we will protect you from her beauty. We will consult you through the reefs and sounds of her persona. We will see through the deceits. You're shielded. You're wise. You're advised. There are muscles on the long white bones that line her limbs just below the silver jumpsuit. What is happening? Nothing. Just time passing. Don't worry. Anything out of the ordinary, you would be notified. Air moves in your windpipe. Your heart beats. You're a detective. Get back to detecting. Am I being beguiled? She presses her elbows against her wrist and slowly turns her head. Her hair brushes her shoulders, making a small hissing sound, almost imperceptible. Avert your eyes. The strange moment ends. It was brief, no longer than 2.2 seconds. Let's return to this later, miss. Why not? I'll be here until 11, drinking coffee, most likely. Right, I've been John Fox here in town of John of the West. I've been having Disco Elysium Adventure. I believe somebody sent me a message as well. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Sorry that I put this out so late.